Welcome to Manufacturing Tech Australia with Shane Williams and Paul Mason.
I'm here with Patrick and Scott from Softeon. Welcome to Manufacturing Tech Australia.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Sean.
On the show.
Cheers.
So, obviously we're here from Softeon. Maybe you give us a little bit of just set the context for the listeners. Like, what do you guys do? What sort of industry challenges do you see in the market, and where do you play?
I'll do it. So, Softeon is a Tier 1 WMS provider. We focus on a number of key industries, 3PL being one of them, food and beverage is another, healthcare, pharmaceutical distribution, omnichannel, and industrial distribution.
Yeah.
The one thing we look for in warehouses is complexity. We're really great at simplifying complex warehouses.
Yeah. And we're a newer presence as far as an office in Australia, but our global customers have brought us here over the years. Have multiple companies using our solution already, and we're looking forward to expanding our presence because we believe we're a great solution for the market.
Cool. And so, if I understand correctly, the product's both WMS and WES.
Correct.
But then you've also got, is it distributed order management as well?
That's right.
So, why those three, and how did you come about that as a product offering?
Well, the one thing that's really nice about Softeon is we're completely focused on the warehouse and warehouse operations, optimizing the warehouse. A lot of our competitors have all kinds of, they have planning solutions or import-export solutions or retail scheduling solutions. We're focused, and our customers love this, we're focused on the problems that a warehouse manager needs to solve.
Yeah.
And so the WMS, the WES, and our distributed order management are all applications we use to help achieve that goal. So that's what we do. So we're completely focused on that.
Yeah, awesome.
And it's a bit of a differentiator for us in some ways because everybody who's a WMS company has a WMS, but our WES lets it integrate with more of the manufacturing tech and automation tech, robotics more easily for our customers.
Awesome. And maybe for listeners who aren't necessarily familiar with what a warehouse execution system is, could you break it down in simple terms for us?
Well, if you ask 10 different people, you'll get 10 different answers.
100%.
Right, so a WES. So for us, and Scott can add some color, it's about helping orchestrate a warehouse. And typically you'll see a WES used in kind of higher volume, more automated warehouses, right, that have a lot of different things going on, where if you've got a bottleneck over here, your WES can recognize that and divert work and resources to that area to help, get that going. So it's all about orchestrating a warehouse from top to bottom. And that's multi-agent orchestration. You've got robotics here, you've got some human labor here, you've got another set of automation over here. So orchestrating all of that workflow inside a warehouse is what the WES helps do.
And I think that human labor side of it is one of the keys for our WES because we built it at a peer level to the WMS. So regardless of whether we're talking about the human labor doing work and bottlenecks there that could create bottlenecks in the automation, that could create bottlenecks in the robotics, we've got a view across all of that.
Yeah, cool. So maybe let's talk a little bit about like what does good look like when your customers are doing this really well. What sort of business problems do they not have anymore, and what sort of some of the benefits they get out of that?
I mean, you're looking at 99.9 something plus % accuracy. Your DIFOT is exceptional at the upper range. You got productivity improvements for all the human labor within the building. You're able to track that, make improvements.
For a 3PL, it's how fast can you onboard a new client? So we built our application to help 3PLs really accelerate that process. So we have 3PLs that can onboard a new client in a week. Whereas a lot of our competitors, it takes months to get the configuration set up. So that is a big measure of our success. The same with opening new facilities. So as 3PLs grow and add new facilities, the ability to open that facility very quickly and get it operational and generating revenue.
And obviously, you guys have been here for a few days now. You said you new words to the market. What's sort of some of the things that people are approaching you about, questions they're asking, things that they're interested in learning?
Oh my gosh, it runs the gamut. It's all over the place. I mean, everyone, you've got your small, more manual type warehouses that are looking to get into more of a true WMS and allow them to grow. We've got, larger, distribution operations that have an old legacy ERP and they're starting to struggle, they're starting to break. And so that's what I love about supply chain. One is you get all kinds of issues, all kinds of problems. So we've seen it, robotics, labor issues, accuracy issues, and just trying to keep up with the changing nature of supply chain.
And so one of the things, in addition to finding new customers, that we've been doing is building up a strong partner network.
Yep.
And that's the feedback from the partners and from the customers. Wow, it's great to have another tier one functionally based WMS in the market for us to take a look at, because it's been several of the same existing vendors for many years now.
Yeah, and it's interesting you play in spaces like food and beverage, because there were vendors that were operating, that were highly invested in this market not so many years ago, that were offering a full ERP solution focused in those specific areas, and they've kind of bounced and moved off, or not focused on this market anymore, or their product is legacy.
Yes.
And a lot of the newer ERPs are trying to be all things to all people, but they don't have that side specialization in verticals.
Right.
It seems like you guys are aiming to fill some of that.
Absolutely. We have an ideal customer profile, and that's where we spend our time. That's how we invest in our product, and that's how we design our solutions to solve those problems.
So maybe talk a little bit about what is the ideal customer profile.
That would take a little time, but I think if we, depends how much time we have here, but if we talk about the 3PL market, the 3PL market, they have their own set of complexity, right? The ability to manage multiple customers in a single warehouse, whether they're doing, piece pick, pallet pick, each's pick, doing pharmaceutical distribution, doing food and beverage, frozen, all kinds of things, right, that a 3PL needs to do, adds a certain level of complexity that a lot of our competitors can't really handle.
Yeah.
So we bring things like advanced billing management, the ability to bill and make sure you accurately bill and capture that and work with your customers to generate the revenue.
Yep.
As I mentioned earlier about the speed thing, right? Getting customers up and running really quickly, onboarding new clients quickly, having the ability to provide a real advanced, flexible architecture to allow you to meet the needs of customers. So when you're out there competing for new business, you can be assured that that's capable inside our thing. So we look for 3PLs that need that are ambitious, that have anywhere from one to we have UPS that has over 100 facilities worldwide. So one of the nice things is we have the same product whether you're kind of a smaller, more manual type operation, or whether you're a level 5, super highly automated, really complex operation. It's the same WMS.
Yeah. Which is a bit of a differentiator for us. We have one WMS regardless of the size of the warehouse, the number of employees, whether you have automation and robotics or it's all manual and RF based.
Yeah.
So we do span probably a wider gamut of potential, ideal product company profiles.
Awesome.
Yeah, so imagine if you've got a level 2 facility or level 3 facility, and you have ambition to grow. We're at facilities. You have that confidence that we can go from that level 2 facility to a level 4 facility.
With the same solution.
Yeah, with the same solution, where our competitors have kind of a down market, WMS, and then they have an up market WMS. So if you're growing, you're like, okay, do I got to switch on to the new product? With Softeon, that's it. So that's one ICP, and we could go through each of those. But I think I like to summarize the general nature of we look for complexity.
Yep.
Right, people that have really challenging requirements in their warehouse, whether it's serialization, whether it's pharmaceutical tracking, whether it's expiration date control, all those things add a layer of complexity to an operation, and that's our ideal customer.
Yeah, right. And I imagine that it lends into things like bonded warehousing and all sorts of complexity around regulation as well, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Now, one of the big things that Australian companies will talk to me about is, it's great that they've got a global footprint, but what does that mean for us here? Am I going to get local support? Are there local system integrators that can help me? What does the Softeon approach to this market look like?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I mentioned was building out our partner network here.
Yeah.
So we've already got multiple certified partners who are ready to help with implementations. They've got multiple people certified with each of those companies, and they're companies who are supply chain specialist consulting firms. So they've done multiple WMSs, implementations. Yeah. They've been in the industry in Australia and New Zealand for the last 10, 15, 20 years. They know the market.
Yeah, so they're not going anywhere.
They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. And the other thing is you see a lot of businesses who have invested in some tech already, and maybe they thought, hey, I'm going to buy an ERP and it's going to be all things that I need, and then they realize actually it's really good for financial ledger and it's really good for reporting, but it doesn't do warehousing particularly well, or it doesn't do that level.
Yeah.
Have you already got a bunch of like integration patterns that you do to service that sort of market?
One of the things that Gartner, who's one of the biggest analysts for the space, touts us on is our integration capabilities.
Yeah.
Whether that's with some of the automation and material handling we have here, or with the OS systems, the ERP systems, we do make it easy. Make that part easy.
So then maybe let's make it practical and real for folks. If I'm sitting there, I'm listening going, sounds like maybe I do need to lean into this, but it feels a bit big and scary. What's like some basic first steps, practical steps that folks can take to try to go on this journey?
I mean, to like select and implement a new
100%,
WMS. I think it's really, first of all, identify your objectives.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? What are the problems you're having? And make sure you understand, where are you today and where do you want to be? From an operational standpoint, what are you trying to solve? And at that point, then it's take a look at the vendors in the market and use that, objectives and where you want to be to help start to, work through this process, because it can be mind-boggling from a demo standpoint, and there's so much to a WMS, but really boiling down your objectives, I think, is the key first step.
And at the same time, having those key objectives, but getting far enough into the details, so it's not just about who's best at marketing, who's been in the market the longest, it's actually getting into the functional requirements and making sure for those key requirements, in addition to the objectives, the system is going to work for you out of the box without customization to make it easy to upgrade later on.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to chase shiny things when you don't really know what it is you actually need, right? So to your point, you could be up against a whole bunch of competitors who, hey, look, mine does this. Oh, I've got AI, fantastic. I need some AI. Shit, you haven't got even the basics right. That's right. You're way off track for that.
Yeah. And what's interesting, we're obviously investing in AI.
Of course.
And so are other supply chain software companies, but every bit of AI investment we're doing is related to the warehouse.
Yeah.
It's related to optimizing warehouse operations, warehouse execution. So very focused on continuous improvement there.
Awesome. Gentlemen, thanks for being on the show. It's been great having you on.
Thanks, Shane.
Thanks for having us, Shane.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for tuning in to Manufacturing Tech Australia with Shane and Paul, recorded on the traditional lands of the Bunurong and Wurundjeri people. For more information, jump on the manufacturingtech.au website. Remember to hit the follow button to join us again next time as we continue to explore the intersection of manufacturing and technology.